Okay, so a bit of a rule explanation as to how this happened. We actually have a rule 3 times in the season. A team is allowed to just revive someone and bring them back for another game. This is actually not applied to the ace policy, which allows a player to be brought back if they are the last one remaining. So what this means is Mouz has decided to bring our player in the bottom right position, the red Protoss, back from the dead using one of their 3 seasonal revives. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left position as the blue Terran. Well, he beat this guy the last game. Can he put him back in his grave? It is MVP's Noblesse. Interesting thing to note, by the way, due to the policy for the revives and the ace match rule, if Noblesse does beat MaNa, the score will be 4-2 for MVP, which means that since Mouz will be on their last game, they can actually bring MaNa back a final time using the ace match policy of the Acer TeamStory Cup. So we could potentially see basically a best of 3 here between Noblesse and MaNa. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Noblesse got brought back with a revive if MaNa was able to take him down. So, gas opening for Noblesse. Possibly going to be a Reaper being built at that 12 supply marker. And, well, gas now saturated. But MaNa doing a bit different. This map, of course, is nothing like Whirlwind, guys. We're on Newkirk Precinct, where double gas is the way to go. And well, not double, just proxy Stargates are quite abundant. MaNa checking for a fast expansion. He's going to tag. Okay, do you have a wall? Wants to know if there's going to be any gas play from Noblesse. He does see it now, and we do have a Reaper coming in for our MVP Terran. And what this Reaper is going to be able to do is, of course, try to find if there's a proxy. He can go into the main base of MaNa and try to pick off a probe or 2. But most importantly, it's all about keeping the Reaper alive as a threat and scouting whatts on the field. The cybernetics core is on the way. We do have the double gas being mined by MaNa. He only has 2 probes on each gas. Basically, so he can get a bit more mineral income. He will likely saturate these once his cybernetics core completes. He just wants to use the minerals to get his infrastructure up without running into any mineral blockage. But MaNa isn't going to be going for any kind of proxy play. He has the probe at the tower. He will be able to see the Reaper coming. And Noblesse, he's just going to get a command center behind this and build a reactor on his barracks. This is going to allow him to get a lot of marine production, which can help him deal with Stargate play, as well as just really any sort of early pressure. You kind of get them. The earlier you get a reactor, the more cost-effective it is in the long run. He's actually going to be playing super aggressively here, putting this engineering bay on the natural of MaNa, saying, hey, it looks like you're probably not doing any kind of cheese play. Did he actually see all 3 pylons? Yeah, he saw 3 pylons, so he knows there's nothing proxied. And since he didn't see a Stargate or anything, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to block your expansion with an engineering bay. And since MaNa skipped the Zealot, it's going to take him a little while to chew through this eBay. We could see him go for a lot of aggression as a reaction. He will start another Stalker. No, he's going to go for a Zealot. And he's just going to try to take this down. He doesn't want to be forced to do anything different. He just wants to kill this. And the thing is, the Reaper can actually pull the Stalker back into the main base or the Mothership Core, so he loses even more DPS on this engineering bay. Behind this, we do have a factory coming up for Noblesse. Yeah, nothing unusual at all. He's just going for a very standard macro follow-up. We'll likely see him start Widowmine production and a Starport when the factory is done. And there, that Widowmine is on the way. And a Starport. So Noblesse, he wants to be very aggressive, but also being economic at the same time. He did expand. Needs to cancel the engineering bay. That thing had like less than 10 health. Perfect cancellation timing from Noblesse. Couldn't have canceled that any later, or it would have been 125 minerals down the toilet. But now adding on 2 gateways. No tech building yet from MaNa. Very interesting to note, he has not yet acquired a robotics facility or a Stargate. This can actually hurt him in the long run, considering that there are Widow Mines on the field, and we will have a medevac probably in production very shortly. Okay, so we do have the robotics facility coming in now, but he may end up running into a little bit of an issue with the possibility of just being caught out of position. He will need to get his observer out very quickly, and it also prevents him from scouting. Ooh, Sentry, is he going to try to throw force? Reaper, oh my goodness, man, this Reaper barely gets a no! Picked off at the last second. Man, he like jumped down the cliff, he's like, alright, everything's fine, and then he just got shot, like right in the back of the head. Remind me, opening like Fallout New Vegas or something, man. Thought he was in the clear. Nope. But Stargate coming in as well for MaNa. This is interesting. Delayed Stargate play can be pretty effective in Protoss versus Terran matchup just because typically you're just like, okay, well, if I scout a fast Stargate, I build turrets. But if I don't see a Stargate, I don't build turrets ever. And this could be what MaNa is counting on. Now, Noblesse is going to be stepping forward towards the natural expansion. He may go for a drop while running these Marines up towards the front. And where's the observer for MaNa? This Mothership Core should be able to spot the drop coming, but actually, yeah, does he have an observer yet? He has one about to finish, but the drop is moving in. The Stalker is here with a couple of the sentries to prevent this from doing any real damage, and the Marines are going to run in towards the front at the same time. We have an Oracle coming in, though, for MaNa. Noblesse, he's going to boost towards the main base. He can activate Photon Overcharge to help defend against this. He will see the Stargate at the same time. The Widowmine burrowing. Can it get a hit off on the probes? No, he actually doesn't get anything. That probe, man, that's like you accidentally step out of your car right as it explodes. Well, I guess not quite the same situation, but this mine, all it's going to get is a Zealot. He will lift up, and this medevac will be able to be used later on. But so far, pretty good hold here from MaNa in terms of not taking damage. And ooh, we have the Oracle. It's on the field going across the map. Now, he can use this for a couple of options, of course. He can use Revelation to be able to spot the army of Noblesse. He won't really need Envision since there is an observer on the field. The Marine at the tower will see this Oracle, though, and he's actually just going to choose to kill it. Kind of saying, okay, well, the jig is up, I guess. I'm not going to be able to catch you off guard with this. And we should see a reactionary, at the very least, a missile turret. But Noblesse doesn't actually have any engineering base. How interesting. The Viking's going to come out here and shove this Oracle away. He won't be able to do any damage today. But of course, Oracles are really good in terms of having late game utility, just because of being able to spot drops with their Revelation. And ooh, the drop's heading back in towards the main base. Can he get any hits off the mine? It's there. It's burrowing. What will he do with it? It looks like he's going to try to target down the Mothership Core. Doesn't really get anything there either. Really good control here from MaNa. He actually hasn't really lost anything to this. And oh, this medevac picked off at the last second. Those Marines left in shreds, falling to their doom. The Viking is still here poking around. This Widowmine is still here, though, and if MaNa doesn't deal with this, this could end up being a problem. Widowmines, the splash damage will kill any number of probes in its area of effect radius. He's waiting for Photon Overcharge to go away. You can actually see the radius, and oh, that's a shame. MaNa will definitely take care of this mine now, but he had a nice opportunity there to possibly just shut that down completely. But third command center on the way forward, Noblesse. He does have a heap of Marines, a good number of Marauders compared to the last game. I wouldn't mind a couple medevacs, and ooh, nice scan, picking off that observer. And you know, it seems like such a trivial thing, but the issue here for MaNa is he now has to prepare his army for drops and split them up, and this can allow just a straight push from Noblesse to do tons of damage. Noblesse does not have +1 attack going. He actually hasn't built any missile turrets. He's using the Widowmine and Viking for defense. And this medevac's heading around towards the south side of the map. He has the force at the front as well. He can bring the Widowmine forward, but the first Colossus is out for MaNa. And this could be, oh, if he gets force fielded in here, a couple of these Marines going to get laser beamed to death. He will be able to maybe kill a Zealot. No, not even that. The drop hits the main base, though. The Marines are beginning to shoot away at these probes. He kills actually quite a few of them. The Photon Cannon working away at the Marines. He's trying to run the medevac away. He wants to kill the Stalkers and make his drop last as long as possible, but more units lost here at the center for Noblesse. And MaNa, though, he did take a bit of damage there, though. That was a good amount of damage from Noblesse. 11 probes have died so far. He's dropping the natural expansion. He might not even kill the cannon, just focus down workers, which would be the ideal thing to do in this scenario. Just try to soften up the economy as much as he can, and he will get away, but not before killing a couple more. 14 probes died so far. Armory coming up here for Noblesse. He is going to be able to start that +1 armor and that +2 attack around the same time once again. And he actually floated that factory away. Yeah, it's still just kind of chilling. He's just chilling there in the main base of MaNa. He's going to be like, okay, well, I'll get a Stalker over here. You can't sit here forever. He doesn't need to be cautious about drops, though. Charge coming in for MaNa, +2 armor and +1 attack. So he didn't go for the same double forge style as in-game. I almost wanted to say game number 1 because it feels like a best of 3, but in the Whirlwind game, in Noblesse, he's getting out Vikings. The question here, though, is Noblesse going to be able to prevent MaNa from getting up that third base like he did in the last game? The Observer does see this little small chunk of units, but he has, you know, a couple medevacs kind of spruced around the field, and he's going to go for a much faster Templar switch than we saw on Whirlwind. And what he can do is, yeah, he's actually going to get the Storm. That really hurt him in the last game, was forgetting to get the Storm. It's actually very, very possible to come back from a big supply deficit as Protoss versus Terran if you can nail perfect Sonic Storms. He is going to try to catch this little bit of a drop. He's going to... Now he's like, okay, well, I'll play games with you. Ooh, manages to bag a Sentry. Very nice catch, and then boosting away. That's playing with fire right there. MaNa wanted to shove that drop away. He's actually going to move everything back inside. Oh, goodness. I think he accidentally just can't... Yeah, he just accidentally canceled his third base. The Oracle does run in, try to do a bit of damage. Will instead throw its Revelation on these units. And basically, guys, Revelation, MaNa can see these units. He has vision of them. You can see that refinery. He also knows where this medevac is and these Vikings, so he can kind of try to abuse the positioning of these units. We do have a Warp Prism coming in. Since he knows where the Vikings are, the Warp Prism, he just sends them wherever they're not. I'd really like to see him get Gravitic Drive, but he doesn't have Thermal Lance, the extended Thermal Lance at least. So this actually makes Noblesse's army pretty vulnerable. The straight switch into Templar is fine, but Storm is not done yet. He may be able to force a cancel on this third. The Colossus, oh! Feedback, but the medevac, barely any health left. 15 hit points. If he gets out of there, this is a pretty nice trade, canceling that third once again. And guys, this is exactly what we saw in Game 2. Another drop in the natural expansion. The probes are pulled away. The Photon Overcharge will knock it back, but another 16. Oh my goodness, this is so late. This third base is basically as late as it was in the Whirlwind game. He's not going to have mining here until about 17.5 minutes or so. Really, really great control from Noblesse, and he's had this third base for about 5 years. He's already paid off the mortgage on this bad boy, and we have the Colossi coming forward. He only has one of them, so the Vikings that are on the field are going to be pretty useless. There are a good number of Storms, though, and no Ghosts on the field just yet. 3 are about to complete, though, and this is where things can get tricky. He does not have the Mobius Reactor, so they can't immediately EMP, but they can snipe. Which does present a pretty big threat. He's actually just going to chase the Colossus with the Vikings. There's not really any anti-air here. No Stalkers to speak of. But this is Noblesse's chance to do something. He's actually getting another drop over at the third base, trying to shut this down, but a Warp-In should be able to clean it up. But at the same time, the Zealots are moving in. The Zealots getting really massacred here. The Storms were not a part of this fight. The Ghosts are here. Can he get some snipes off? He's chasing them away, and the army just so weakened. And the medevac is going to be shoved back here. He actually has built a real Phoenix. Not a hallucination this time. Another engagement. Great force fields holding these Marines back, but it doesn't look like there's going to be enough for MaNa. Noblesse just has so much stuff. GG. MaNa is going to go down once again, and Noblesse going to move up a nice 4-2 lead here for MVP in the Acer TeamStory Cup. So in this best of 9 series, we now have a 4-2 lead for MVP, guys. MVP wins one more map. Noblesse takes out one more nerd, and we will have our victor for this match. Pretty nice play. Noblesse is not doing anything different. He's not doing anything weird. He is playing the most vanilla macro harass style ever. The opening was a little bit more on the kinky side of things, I will admit, but he really didn't try to force anything. His mines, though, he got held up pretty well, but MaNa just, that is so hard to deal with. Noblesse is, goodness gracious, playing scarily well. I don't have any other explanation. But we could see MaNa come out once again as the ace revive for Mouz. But we'll have to see, guys. I'm Nathanias, your caster today.